If you are ever worried about the safety of your home, you need to hear about SimpliSafe's Early Access Black Friday sale. SimpliSafe is a home security system that stops crimes before they happen. AI-powered cameras detect threats while they are still outside your home and alert real security agents. These agents take action while the intruder is still outside, confronting the intruder, letting them know they're being watched on camera, and that the police are on their way, and even sounding a loud siren and triggering a spotlight if needed. This is how you stop crime before it starts. SimpliSafe has been named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. There are no long-term contracts or hidden fees, and you can cancel at any time. And there's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it and see the difference for yourself. Don't miss out on SimpliSafe's biggest sale of the year, 60% off. Right now, Disturbed listeners can save 60% off on a SimpliSafe home security system at simplisafe.com/disturbed. That's simplisafe.com/disturbed. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. It's that time of year again. Everyone knows that the holidays can become overwhelming quickly, so the sooner that you get things done, the better. For both shoppers and businesses, the best time to score great deals during the holidays is Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. And that's why you need Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Allbirds and Cowboy e-bikes to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their very first Black Friday or Cyber Monday this year. Shopify has everything you need to succeed from start to finish. First, Shopify's marketing tools help push your brand to the forefront of the chaos, no matter what platform your customers are on. Then, Shopify helps draw customers in with the ease of a convenient checkout with Shop Pay, Shopify's expedited checkout that saves customers information and reduces hassle. The best part? Shop Pay has been proven to boost conversions, meaning you see less abandoned carts and more profits. You can also stress less knowing that Shopify's award-winning customer support team is on standby 24/7 to help with any issues that arise, allowing you to get back to business as fast as possible. This Black Friday, join thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/income. That's shopify.com/income. Go to shopify.com/income and make this Black Friday one to remember.
This content may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion advised.
As I got out of the car, Tinder guy quickly followed behind me, grabbed my shoulder, and spun me around before aggressively kissing me. He literally manhandled my face with his tongue.
He even ran to a bar to go get a drink and then brought it into the studio where he was surrounded by kids painting Bluey portraits. It was bizarre.
From Killer Podcasts. True tales of horror, bizarre happenings, unexplainable events. This is Disturbed. Hello, and welcome back to the show. This week, we have 2 stories that will make you second-guess what's behind the kind eyes of a stranger. First, we'll hear from a mother who learns her child is in grave danger. Narrated by Dacey Else from Reddit user OKDiscussion181.
I'll preface this by saying I was raised by a killer. I lived with my grandparents growing up, and when I was 17, my grandfather stalked, kidnapped, and murdered my grandmother because she wanted a divorce. I also married my ex-husband at 22, learning later that his dad was a prolific pedophile that raped his sisters when they were as young as 6 years old. Both are in prison for life, but these men I was extremely close to. For a while, I was almost attracted to danger. I was unable to recognize clear warning signs because I thought they were normal behavior. I've grown since then, and now I can spot these predatory type people. They know I recognize them. It's like an unspoken thing, like when you're at a party and you and someone else see something funny but don't know each other well enough to say it out loud, so you just look at each other and kind of laugh telepathically. It's a weird feeling, and it's only happened twice. The second time it happened was with my mom's friend. We'll call him Elijah. They met at a church group. Come to find out later that this church group is a weird extremist version of Christianity. They believed all white people are evil and that their members are the chosen ones rather than the Jews, and a whole bunch of other weird shit. It's a cult. Anyways, Elijah was a truck driver, and my mom had been taking my daughter to play dates with his daughter. I obviously became uncomfortable once I realized how disturbed their combined beliefs were, but I didn't want to cut off the playdates cold turkey for the sake of my kids. Instead, I started taking time off work to join them and told my mom he wasn't allowed around my daughter without me being there. When I first met Elijah, he was very charming and sweet, funny even, but also annoyingly jolly and clearly trying hard to appear innocent and sweet. He used a soft voice to make me comfortable and incessantly talked about being protective to make himself seem more manly. Also said some weird stuff like how his daughter wasn't allowed to wear pants, only dresses. Then he kept offering me drinks, one after the other while we were hanging out with our kids. In some circumstances, this wouldn't be the biggest deal, but I'm not a drinker, especially not on playdates, and made that very clear to him. While we were sitting down at the beach one time watching the kids, he set up a little blanket area and told me, "You can come closer." I didn't know how to react because I was already on my own blanket. I said I needed to be where I was able to have a good view of the kids, but he kept pushing and said I could see them from here. Here in this case was basically on his lap. He stared at me silently for what seemed like an hour before I scooted slightly closer to him to not make things more awkward for everyone around. I sat on the edge corner of the blanket and tried to avoid eye contact and focused on the kids. Being sure not to get close, I got weird vibes, but I figured he was obviously weird because of his culty beliefs. Despite my attempts to shrug it off as him just being odd, my gut was burning for days after that first meeting. I also noticed that he spoke really badly about women, especially his daughter's mom. I figured this was just a misogynistic weirdo. Elijah went off to work for a few days, and when he came back immediately, wanted to get the kids together again. I told my mom that I had to be there, so we arranged a date and time where I wasn't working. We went to a paint studio for the kids, and again, the whole time he was offering me drinks at an art studio for kids, where no drinks were served. He even ran to a bar to go get a drink and then brought it into the studio where he was surrounded by kids painting bluey portraits. It was bizarre. We went from the art studio to a trampoline park, and as the kids were joking around and jumping and playing, Elijah repeatedly picked me up and threw me into the foam ball pit despite my clear discomfort and telling him I wasn't feeling well and asking him to stop. He then pulled me down on top of him while he was laying on the trampoline, to which I got very upset and stormed off, taking my daughter with me. A bit earlier, I'd gotten a friction burn on my wrist from sliding down the trampoline too fast, and he took my wrist and grabbed it hard, then pressed down on the open sore to taunt me. I don't know if this man was just socially awkward or disturbed or what, but my body has never physically reacted so strongly to a person, besides my ex-husband's father. I couldn't sleep for days because my thoughts were racing constantly. I coped by smoking cigarettes, breaking 10 years of sobriety. My brothers tried to help, but every time I called them, I ended up crying out of pure fear. This lasted for about 2 weeks. I stopped the playdates and told my daughter they aren't going to happen anymore. Obviously, I didn't want Elijah to have anything to do with my family, but I know my mom still talks to him occasionally. She lost the last bit of trust I had for her, and now my daughter is barely allowed to see her grandmother. I know some people might see this as harsh, but I'm just being vigilant about my kids' safety. I've seen these signs before, and it ended horrifically.
Stay tuned for more disturbing stories. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. Now I have high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network, all while keeping my phone, number, and contacts. Many of you know Mint Mobile has been partnered with us for a while now, and that's because I really do love Mint. Unlike my old carrier, Mint is reliable and affordable, so I've been telling everyone to make the switch. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/disturbed. That's mintmobile.com/disturbed. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Winter is always tough for me. With the shorter and colder days, I never feel 100%. But this year is different, thanks to AG1. AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink clinically shown to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps. The end of the year always brings around extra stress, but AG1 is filled with prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes that help support regularity and gut resilience. Darker and shorter days often throw our bodies out of rhythm, but AG1's superfoods and B vitamins support steady energy without the crash. I love AG1, and to get the most out of this holiday season, you should definitely give it a try. Head to drinkag1.com/disturbed to get a free welcome kit with an AG1 flavor sampler and a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2 when you first subscribe. That's drinkag1.com/disturbed. If you are ever worried about the safety of your home, you need to hear about SimpliSafe's early access Black Friday sale. SimpliSafe is a home security system that stops crimes before they happen. AI-powered cameras detect threats while they are still outside your home and alert real security agents. These agents take action while the intruder is still outside, confronting the intruder, letting them know they're being watched on camera and that the police are on their way, and even sounding a loud siren and triggering a spotlight if needed. This is how you stop crime before it starts. SimpliSafe has been named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. There are no long-term contracts or hidden fees, and you can cancel at any time. And there's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it and see the difference for yourself. Don't miss out on SimpliSafe's biggest sale of the year, 60% off. Right now, Disturbed listeners can save 60% off on a SimpliSafe home security system at simplisafe.com/disturbed. That's simplisafe.com/disturbed. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. Cold mornings, holiday plans. This is when I just want my wardrobe to be simple. Stuff that looks sharp, feels good, and things I'll actually wear. For me, that's Quince. And the bonus?
Quince pieces make great gifts, too. This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with Quince. $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury and wool coats that are equal parts stylish and durable. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middlemen to deliver premium quality at half the cost of other high-end brands. I've always wanted a high-quality parka, but they've always been too expensive. When I saw Quince had one at a much better price, I jumped at the opportunity. It looks great, and now I'm prepared for whenever the weather decides to drop. Speaking of being prepared, I've decided to get a jump start on my holiday shopping. I took a look at Quince's bed and bath collection, and the hand-woven rattan bathroom accessories set caught my eye. My friend is moving into a new house at the start of the year, and it fits her casually elegant design style perfectly. I can't wait to see her face when she opens it. Give and get timeless holiday staples that last this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/disturbed for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/disturbed. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/disturbed.
In D.C., a first date goes off the rails. Narrated by Danielle Patterson from Reddit user IGGreen1.
So back in 2014, I went on a first date with a guy I'd matched with on Tinder. I lived in D.C. at the time and worked on Capitol Hill for a U.S. congressman. While nice, handsome, and a self-declared Southern gentleman, Tinder guy was extremely pushy leading up to our first date. My job was even more insanely busy than normal during that time, often requiring frequent all-nighters and entailing exactly zero social life to speak of. Looking back now, it's painfully obvious that I absolutely did not have the time or space in my life for dating, but after months of my bestie begging me to create a Tinder profile, I basically surrendered. For weeks, I tried to reschedule because work was crazy, but Tinder guy literally would not take no for an answer. He also was an extremely gifted manipulator. He basically guilt-tripped me and broke me down enough to finally agree to go on a first date with him. He said it would only be dinner, so I went. While the date went fine on paper, Tinder guy nonetheless kinda gave me the ick. At the time, I couldn't pin down why. He was polite, attractive, had a great job, but still, something about the way he would continue to stare at me so intently, without blinking, was so unsettling. It was like he was playing some intense, weird-ass staring contest where he was the only contestant. There were a lot of other icks and red flags during our date, but the first major one was the fact that I was kind of held hostage. At the end of our dinner, after politely thanking him for the meal, I tried to head out. I told him I had to get back to work early in the morning, but Tinder guy pressured me into going to a bar next door with him for a nightcap. I've learned a lot about manipulation through therapy since this happened, and now I understand that this guy was incredibly good at it. I didn't stand a chance. After 2 drinks that I didn't want, I mentioned again that I needed to get home, with a little more force this time. Tinder guy acted like he didn't hear me, got up, and headed to the bar before returning with beers for both of us. I was pissed. After a few minutes, I faked an incoming phone call from my boss, essentially channeling my inner Meryl Streep, and proceeded to give the best acting performance of my life. He totally bought it, and finally stopped ignoring my polite pleas to go home. He agreed to let me leave, but he insisted on sharing an Uber, even though we live in completely separate neighborhoods, nowhere near each other. Of course, I didn't want this weird stranger to know where I live, let alone spend one more minute with him. I tried to refuse, repeatedly, but he wouldn't take no for an answer, making me feel more and more uncomfortable. So, in a major "what the fuck are you doing" moment, especially looking back now 10 years later, I silently stomached my anxiety and we proceeded to Uber to my neighborhood. I gave them an address a few blocks away from my place so he wouldn't know where I lived. As I got out of the car, Tinder guy quickly followed behind me, grabbed my shoulder, and spun me around before aggressively kissing me. He literally manhandled my face with his tongue. When he finally let go of me, I had to do my best to hold back vomit. Then I spent 10 minutes placating him and finally got him to accept that the date was over and I was headed to sleep. Reluctantly, he agreed to leave. Once the Uber left with Tinder guy in it, I sprinted home. When I got back, I deadbolted the door and literally sank to the floor in disbelief. It took me a few minutes to compose myself, and when I did, I told my roommates that I was excited to never talk to him again. But alas, I wouldn't be so lucky. Immediately following our date, Tinder guy sent me a barrage of texts the entire rest of the night, fawning all over me. Over and over, he asked if we could FaceTime, even though it had only been 1 hour after I got home. I lied and said I was already in bed, and since I had absolutely zero intention to ever speak to this person again, I naively thought that was the end of it. Tinder guy continued to text me nonstop over the next few days. I mostly ignored him, and when I didn't, my responses were curt. I decided I would text him at the end of the week and let him down gently when I wasn't swimming in work craziness. 3 days later, our office receptionist came to my cubicle with a gaudy bouquet of roses and an accompanying card addressed to me. I knew immediately it was from Tinder guy, and I started freaking out. I never told Tinder guy who I worked for, or hell, even which state my boss was from. I had purposefully given him zero clues about any of that. I also didn't have any of that information on my social media accounts, and they were all private anyways. There's over 15,000 congressional staffers who work on the Hill, and there's no telling how many staffers with my same first name you'd have to go through to find my last name and office address. Needless to say, if I wasn't creeped out enough by this guy already, now I was 1,000%, especially after reading the note. He talked about how great of a kisser I was, what he wanted to do to me, how he hoped I could meet his family, and how he couldn't wait to see me again. One good thing that came out of this experience is that it finally gave me the balls to end things with Tinder guy via text. Dating is the fucking worst. And until this experience, if I was talking to someone but also knew at the same time that I wasn't interested, I would still respond to messages and basically lead them on because I didn't want to hurt their feelings and felt guilty. I now realize how unfair that is to the other person and have since vowed I'll never cop out when it comes to that stuff. It's also helped instill in me the whole fuck politeness mantra. I'm fortunately in a serious long-term relationship now, but while dating or even in my regular life, if I ever feel uncomfortable and uneasy like Tinder guy made me feel, I now fight the urge to be agreeable and polite and instead stand up for myself in whatever way I need to. Hopefully, other people can learn from my mistakes and do the same.
Want more Disturbed? Check out our Patreon for member-exclusive content, early merch access, and other cool perks. I'm your host, Doug Bailey, and this has been Disturbed, a production of Killer Podcasts and part of the Evergreen Network. For more paranormal and true crime shows, visit killerpodcasts.com. Follow our social channels at Disturbed Podcast on Instagram or Disturbed_pod on Twitter. If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and reviewing on your favorite listening platform. Share your own true horror story at disturbedpodcast.com. Music by Epidemic Sound and by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Our producer is Declan Roars. Audio engineering by Nathan Corson, Will Pritz, and Sean Rule Hoffman. Executive producer Bridget Coyne. Until next time, stay safe out there.
Beware, extreme passion can lead to shocking consequences.
On Scorned Love Kills, the podcast from ID, find out what happens when lust and obsession turn deadly. In each episode, you'll hear direct audio from the hit TV show and uncover true, unexpected stories about love gone wrong, about relationships that
Become a volatile mix of jealousy and anger.
Listen to Scorned Love Kills on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Is the pressure of your wedding day being perfect from sunrise to sunset weighing on your mind? Planning a wedding can be stressful, but it shouldn't be, and that's why we're here to help. On the Bridechilla podcast, we celebrate love and help you plan your wedding day. We're all about keeping it real and having fun every step of the way. So whether you're just starting to plan or counting down the days, we're here to help you stay cool, calm, and collected. We have expert tips and amazing guests. Let's get this party started and embrace your inner Bridechilla. Listen to Bridechilla wherever you get your podcasts or visit us at thebridechilla.com.